Hello everyone, Giltar here with a model kit review. This time we'll be looking at the 1:72 scale VF-27γ Lucifer Valkyrie Brera Sterne custom model kit by Bandai in their Macross Frontier model kit line. This model came out last November in the year 2009. Normally it retails for 5,500 yen, or basically $60 American at current exchange rates. Now this is going to be a fairly lengthy review because this is a transforming model kit. It has quite a few accessories, and just the fact that it has transformation capability means that I will be demonstrating the transformation scheme during my video. So I'm splitting up this review into 5 basic parts. Part 1 right here will cover the model kit information, the accessories, and some points of the fighter jet mode. Part 2 will cover the transformation from fighter mode to Gerwalk mode, and then go over some of the details of Gerwalk. Part 3 will cover transformation from Gerwalk mode to Batroid mode. Part 4 will cover Batroid mode's articulation and some features there. And then Part 5 will cover the pros and cons of this model kit and my final thoughts. Now, as you can see, the VF-27γ is in its fighter form right now. And basically it takes the form of a futuristic space jet fighter type vehicle. It's in a sort of dark wine red, not quite burgundy, but a dark wine red purplish color with some light purple highlights for different parts. The cockpit itself uses a transparent green plastic. It comes pre-colored so that you don't have to color it yourself. Now with the VF-25 Valkyrie kits, I've read a lot of people sort of criticize that because those canopies didn't come in pre-colored parts, people felt that they had to do more work and they had to tint them themselves. I don't think that's a bad thing because honestly, the pre-colored parts are fine, but if you have any desire to customize your model kit to make it something different than what was shown on the anime, or like basically the animation model, if they're pre-colored, it's more difficult to change it to a color of your liking. So now the reason why I've taken the VF-27γ off camera for a moment here is just to remove the canopy piece, to show you guys a detail there. First of all, you can remove it, but it's pretty snug when you attach it. But here's the clear canopy piece. And within the cockpit, there are 2 partial figures. They're just basically the torso and upper body of Brera Sterne here, and I believe this is Ranka Lee in the back seat. Some nice detailing of the cockpit pieces. And I don't know if you can make it out on my camera, but the surface details of the VF-27γ is really finely detailed. A lot of grooves and panel lines and basically depressions to take advantage of if you do want to paint and panel line it. You will also notice there are certain parts, like on the parts of the wings here. These are actually little barrels for I think machine guns or some type of weapon. And actually on the bottom here you'll see I have the beam gun pod mounted. You can actually remove it. It just pegs into an adapter piece right here, and on the bottom of the beam gun pod there's an adapter piece, and I'll show that in a moment. But here's the bottom of the VF-27γ. It is actually fairly large, so I'm having a difficult time getting it all on camera. But if you want to see a size comparison from the bottom of the thrusters to the top of the nose, it's actually quite a bit taller than the 1:100 scale master grade RX-782 Gundam there. Now these are landing gear bits. They don't fold out, they actually peg in, so there is some part swapping involved in this model kit. You have 2 for the rear landing gear and 1 for the below the nose cone. And in fact, these parts can close on the front there. Now, I'll just remove that, get the landing gear back on. Now that's pretty much the model kit itself, the main base body. Now, in addition to this clear plastic piece, there's an armored piece here in sort of the same red purplish plastic that's used for the body of the model kit. And again, there are many panel line grooves to take advantage of here. And in fact, you would actually put decals or stickers or even paint over certain parts to make it more accurate to the animation model. Now, this is the beam gun pod. The adapter piece I spoke of earlier just sort of slides on this on the bottom of the weapon, but there's also another adapter piece that slides over it as well. And what this is for, I'll show you here. Is it? It's a little hard to get on, but basically you slide it on, and when it's slung under the VF-27, this hole, peg hole or port, clips onto the bottom of the VF-27, and then this bottom piece here actually connects to an action base or one of the other display bases. And Bandai has created a series of Macross Frontier display bases for these model kits. And they're pretty much like action bases, essentially. Now, this is the beam gun pod with the barrel opened up. There is articulation here, and you can actually put a beam effect part in here, which I'll show in a few minutes. It's similar to the Master Grade High New Gundam's fin funnel beam effect parts. It's a piece of clear plastic with some designs painted onto it or printed on it. Now, you can actually put this gun pod in its normal firing mode, which is you just clip these two sides together, and here's the beam gun pod. And the weapon itself is quite large. If I were to compare it to the Master Grade Gundam, it's actually taller than the RX-782 here. It's quite a big weapon. It's very similar to the VF-25G, a Michael Custom, in that that model has a sniper rifle type of beam or gun pod rather. Now, as far as the other accessories go, we have two pieces here. These are actually for the chest of the VF-27 in Batroid or humanoid mode. There are two sizes. One's for sort of full robot mode, and the other one I think is for normally, like, you would have this in place of the chest, but I actually don't have it attached. This blade part is actually for a shield component, which I'll show off in a few moments. These two light purple parts are for the underside of the VF-27. When you take off the landing gear, there are depressions where you would put these two pieces in to basically fill them in. This part here is actually for the collar of Batroid mode, which I don't have attached because it's not in Batroid mode. The figure, or model rather, comes with four hands, two sets. There's two grip hands, which I've taken apart one to show that it does have actually a rectangular peg on the palm to grip onto the handle of the beam gun pod, because it does have these basically sort of not true pegs, but depressions on the handle where you would fit the peg onto. And you also get a pair of open hands here. Very nicely detailed. I normally really enjoy Kotobukiya's sculpted hand accessories, but Bandai's work here on the VF-27γ is just spectacular. The details are wonderful, just very nicely molded hand accessories. There's an adapter piece here, well, not really an adapter, but a support piece for Gerwalk mode, which you'll see in part 2 of this video review. And finally, there's an adapter piece here for the shield component. And let me just take off the shield. Now, the shield is located here on the rear section of the VF-27. You basically have to slide it out. Here you go. And actually, I'll show here, there's a pair of molded hands for basically fighter mode. They are molded as a single set. And I believe this is accurate to the animation model. I believe the VF-25 and VF-27s, when they transform into fighter mode, they actually don't conceal the hands. They simply just fold up and get slung under the fighter mode. And so that's why Bandai provided these hands, so that you basically get it accurate to the animation model. And here's the shield that you would use in Batroid mode. It's just a small shield you attach to the forearm. The front section has a slot where you attach this blade component. Basically just slide it in, and so it's both a shield and a weapon. And then this adapter piece here clips onto the shield on the front here, so that you can actually put it into a peg on the forearm. And so that concludes part 1 of the review. I'll be back in part 2 again to do basically the transformation from fighter mode here into Gerwalk mode, which is sort of halfway between humanoid and halfway between like vehicle mode. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this review so far, and I'll be back very soon.